Hi everybody, welcome to Christian Homestead. My name is Jared. I have a quick update for you. I don't know if you checked the Aurora forecast for tonight, but it looks like something similar is going on tonight as what happened on the night of November 11th and into the morning of November 12th. I feel like there's a chance that we might be able to see the Aurora again in places that we typically don't see it. Let me show you my screen. So this is the forecast for the United States tonight. This is from midnight until 3 a.m. And this is exactly what the forecast was for last time this happened. I want to show you some other things and then afterwards talk about how this, I think, relates to the second coming and how we, I think, see these kind of patterns in the Book of Mormon and why this is really significant. Okay, so this is what it's looking like tonight. You can see it says KP7 up here, and then at 3 a.m. it goes down to 6, and then back up to 7 from 6 a.m. until 9. This is all Central Time, by the way. So I feel like this is pretty encouraging. Let's look at what happened last time. So this is what it looked like last time, but this is after the fact. Like, this was not what the forecast looked like before it actually happened. It seems that they finalized that day, and this is what it actually was. So again, before the Aurora that night, this is what it looked like. And then this is what it actually was. You can see this green area. This is where the Aurora is definitely within view. This green line right here is where you should be able to see it on the horizon. So this is, this is pretty dramatic. All 50 states saw the Aurora back on November 11th and 12th. Okay, so with that, I was able to capture pictures like this at the temple lot. And again, this is what it actually looked like to the naked eye. I was also able to take video. I did a live stream from the temple lot. You can go and look at that if you want to. If it happens again tonight, I don't know if I'll go to the temple lot or not, but if it happens again tonight, I'll probably do another live stream. So you'll probably want to take advantage of this if you missed it all these other times. And that's part of what I want to talk about before I continue. It seems to me like we're being given many chances to see this sign and wonder in the heavens. I was blown away last year that I saw the Aurora at all. I never expected to see it in my lifetime because I never had any plans to go up north. I've never had any desire to live up north, or I don't really have anybody that lives up north. Well, except for my mother-in-law up in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. But I just never expected to see it. And then I did. And of all places, it was in south central Kansas, right along the border with Oklahoma. That's pretty far south. And I not only saw it once, but I saw it twice. And these were similar events where all 50 states saw it, as long as there wasn't weather. I know for at least one or two of those times, Utah couldn't see it because of weather. But that's the point of what I'm saying right now. If you've missed it because of weather, if you missed it because you just missed it, it feels like we're being given multiple opportunities to see this. And I realize that this is happening because of where we're at in the solar cycle. These are 11-year cycles. And right now, last I checked, I think we are in solar maximum. And it doesn't matter if this has happened in other solar cycles. What I can tell you is that there hasn't been as much attention given to it. Maybe that's because of smartphones, because sometimes, depending on where you are and when you're observing it, you have to use your smartphone to pull out those colors. You have to use the night mode or long exposure to actually see it. And so you might say, well, back in the 90s and before smartphones, people just didn't really see it because of that. That's not the point. In my mind, that's not the point. The point is now we're seeing it. It doesn't have to be unexplainable. It doesn't have to have never happened before. All that has to happen is that it puts ideas in your mind. You're filled with awe and reverence. You feel like something is going on. The Lord is using this moment right now, giving us the ability to observe this more widely. And then it has this effect on us. We're recognizing it as a sign and wonder in the heavens. It's as simple as that, in my mind. I think that's how it goes. So, the fact that we've already had 3, that by itself is pretty amazing to me, that in my lifetime in these states, Kansas and Missouri, I've seen it 3 times with my own eyes. But now we're potentially going to see it a 4th time. It feels like the Lord really wants as many people as possible to experience this and have their own signs of the second coming experience. That's kind of how I view this. I don't know if that's what's actually happening, but let's go ahead and let's go back to this. Okay, so this was the first night, and then it carried on into the next night. Oops, I thought I had, okay, sorry, let's go back. Okay, there we go. Let's go to, so that's the 12th. This is the 13th. So this is the next night. So it went from a KP9. Why did the dates get all messed up? Okay, on the 12th, it's a KP9, and then the next day it drops down to a KP7. But you were still able to see it that night. My family and I went up to Far West. I was hoping to get an amazing picture up there. And this is what it looked like. I didn't get the picture that I wanted, but you were able to see it with the naked eye. But it was much fainter than the night before. Okay? So this is what it looked like on that day. And this is the forecast today. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. So that's why I feel like there's a good chance to see it. Of course, I would defer to what the experts say. You have this space.com article. It says, Northern Lights may be visible in 17 states and maybe more tonight. It says that, let me zoom in. It says that it's going to potentially cause periods of strong G3 geomagnetic storming. So, okay, so they're thinking it's going to be a G3. And what's interesting is last time this happened, that's also what they thought. So here we are. This is NOAA, and they were talking about these 3 days from the 11th to the 13th. And they were thinking, oh, okay, on the 11th, it's going to be G2, and then the next day it's going to be G3, and then G1. And then what actually happened was G4. Not even a full G5, it just G4, and then we got this. Again, I've been watching this website for a while, ever since last year, and to see this large green shaded area cover almost the entire United States is really crazy. So, I guess what we're trying to say here is don't get your hopes up too high. But this is what happened last month. This is what happened last month. I understand that there's probably other factors at play. I know that there are people that really analyze these things. There's Stephen Burns. I check in with him from time to time. But let's just wait and see. And I would encourage you to go outside tonight and look up. Definitely make sure to look up. And then watch your phone in case I go live. In case that's something that you'd like to see. Okay. Just a few more thoughts. So, the most recent item that I have on my Second Coming timeline was what happened. What happened last month. Oh, I need to update this. The Bahia Blanca, Argentina temple was dedicated. I'll do that after this video. So, if we get another one, this is going to be 2 times. Or it's going to... Okay. So last year, we had one happen in May, and we had one happen in October. So they were pretty spread apart. This year, if we get one today, it's only going to be spread, or there's only going to be like a month's difference between these 2 events, because the last one was in November, and this one is potentially happening tonight on the 8th. So it makes me think about what Elder Neal A. Maxwell said. This is the April 1992 General Conference, My Servant Joseph. I've read this a million times, but I feel like it's worth repeating. Now, my brethren, these are your days in the history of the church. Mark well what kind of days they will be. Days when, with special visibility, the Lord will make bare his holy arm in the eyes of all the nations. God will also hasten his work. And by the way, hastening has been a big topic over the last couple of years. Not even just during President Nelson's time. Certainly it's been a time of hastening, but especially the last couple of years with all the quotes I've collected. This is really, really a hastening time. But anyway, continuing, he will also shorten the last days for the elect's sake. Hence, there will be a compression of events. And so I have to wonder, along with many other things, the hastening and things happening in the world, geopolitics, things happening in the church, things happening in whatever country you live in. In addition to that, I have to wonder if these signs in the heavens, like these auroras that can be seen throughout the entire United States, I'm wondering if we're seeing a compression of events. It would seem so if this happens tonight. 2 times in 2024, one happening in April, one happening in October, and now this year, potentially, well, for sure, the one that happened in November, and potentially one that is going to happen tonight in December. It's like a compression of events. We'll have to see. And then I want to go to the Book of Mormon, 3rd Nephi chapter 1, verse 4. And it came to pass that in the commencement of the 92nd year, behold, the prophecies of the prophets began to be fulfilled more fully. For there began to be greater signs and greater miracles wrought among the people. You guys, I feel like we're seeing this right now. Really, even just ever since I started my channel. Well, no, even before that. I'd say if I was to point to any one year, I would point to 2020. I feel like since 2020, we've been in this period of prophecies being more fully fulfilled and greater signs and greater miracles. That's my opinion. I've been documenting a lot of things, and we've seen so many crazy things since I started this channel in 2021. And then if we go to chapter 2, verse 1, and it came to pass that thus passed away the 95th year also, and the people began to forget those signs and wonders which they had heard, and began to be less and less astonished at a sign or a wonder from heaven, insomuch that they began to be hard in their hearts and blind in their minds, and began to disbelieve all which they had heard and seen. And so we'll end with that, a word of warning. We've seen a lot of things. On this channel, if you've been watching my channel, we have seen a lot of things. Really incredible things. We've seen the Kirtland Temple come back into the church. We saw the largest explosion on Earth that's been recorded with modern instruments. I can't remember the name of it, but it was that underwater volcano that erupted off the coast of Tonga. That explosion was larger than the largest nuclear bomb. We've seen the largest explosions in space. Explosions and solar flares. I have that one spreadsheet where we've seen like the biggest and brightest and whatever of all these different celestial events that have happened since the time that I started this channel. And I could go on. That's why I have all these spreadsheets. There's so much record-breaking events, things that you just would never expect. These auroras, I don't know that they're necessarily record-breaking, but the circumstances are highly unusual. So let's not be less and less astonished. Let's be more and more amazed at what's going on. Because that's the moral of the story here. You can either go one way or the other, become less and less astonished, or become more and more amazed. I guess you could take the middle ground, but I would take the route of being more and more amazed and more alert. I think that the second coming is going to happen sooner than later, based among so many other things, based on what we're talking about right now. I think about when it happened the first time, in May of last year. I'm thinking about, I remember how these pictures of the aurora were just all over my social media feeds, like my personal ones, Facebook and Instagram. Everybody was getting pictures and posting them because it was just so amazing. A lot of other people were having the same experience that I was. Oh, I can see the aurora in Kansas, Missouri, Texas, Florida, Mexico. Everybody was posting it. The second time, I don't think so much. And then this third time, not at all. I think I'm the only one on my Facebook feed that posted a picture of the aurora. So is that because of this? Like, we're becoming less and less astonished. And it's like, oh, okay, we've already seen that 2 times, or 2 other times, boring. So let's not be like that. Let's just record what we see and realize it in the context of just everything that we're seeing, and let's not be less and less astonished. All right, well, that's going to be it for this one. I'll talk to you guys later.